jobs.
You're going to do it at the same time?
Correct.
And come in here after.
Right, or when you ask, then just get up. I won't be offended if you ask a question and then get up and leave. This is the first time I've ever done a press conference in a greenhouse. So, fire away.
How different is this week from what you need to do?
Not really. I mean, up until Wednesday, it was perfectly normal. And then just getting on the plane and then going. Right now, it seems like almost like a short week schedule. But that's just for one day. By the time we get to tomorrow, it'll be a normal Friday and normal Saturday. And, we'll feel like we're back on schedule. So just a little bit different today.
How do you evaluate last week?
We lost the game. Yeah. You don't get a whole lot from me with, like judging on anything other than wins and losses. We didn't do enough to win the game.
Jim, can you just maybe address how the whole quarterback change impacts you guys as a defense, and what sort of is the mindset for you guys?
Well, I mean, number one, we have to take care of our business, and we have to try to be the best versions of ourselves and not worry about all those other things. But there is a responsibility that goes along with starting a rookie quarterback, and it's up to us to get stops and keep them in position that that he doesn't feel the need to do too much. The last thing you want to do with a rookie quarterback is put him in a situation where he's got to score every time he has the ball. Then you're going to see mistakes. So if we do our part, then that can help. But our part is trying to be us, trying to get stops, trying to take the ball away, tackle fundamentals, all those things.
Jim, yesterday, Gabriel said he hopes to bring energy and juice to the offense. Can that help the defense if that happens?
Well, for sure. The energy is contagious, and the way we preach, that's one of the things that we preach. We preach physical toughness, physicality on defense. We preach effort, and we preach, energy and enthusiasm and those kind of things. So, certainly that stuff's contagious. I feel like when we do a good job of that, it can be contagious to the offense, and I would expect the same. It would be a lift for us too.
What do you make of Minnesota's offensive line, fifth alignment in 5 games?
Yeah, they probably don't get a lot of sympathy from our guys, do they? It is what it is. I mean, injuries are part of the game, and it's opportunity for some guys to step up and see what they can do. It's up to us to try to exploit those matchups. That's a big part of the game. Usually, as our defensive line goes, we go. They're the tempo setter for us. They're the people that we lean on to be our engine. And if they can capitalize on some of those matchups, all the better for us.
It looks like Carson Wentz is going to start for those guys. JJ didn't practice again today. So what are you seeing in Carson, and what do you guys have to be accounting for?
Yeah, veteran quarterback, been around a long time, big arm, has good weapons. Getting Addison back last week really helped them. Obviously Jefferson, but Hawkinson, and Mason's a good running back, so even though they've had some injuries, they still got a lot of talented guys, and, he does a pretty good job of getting the ball in those playmakers' hands, and, we'll have to play our best to come out with a win.
How do you use Jefferson?
Well, I think he's been in the league 6 years. He's 4-time All-Pro. Is that, you guys have to fact check me on that. That's pretty unique, there's some guys that are really good route runners. There's some guys that just have great hands. There's some guys that have really good run after the catch. Some guys have speed. Some guys have size. He's checking all those boxes. And then, the final check is productivity. And, everybody knows he wears number 18 and, it's easy to find him, but he's still able to be productive. Particularly when Addison was down early in the season when he was suspended, Jefferson really carried a load. So guys that can do that, we have a lot of respect for. But he's just a really, really good all-around player. And, we need to know where he is throughout the game, but particularly on third down.
Are you heading into this game pretty confident that you're going to have Miles here available?
Yeah, I'll let Kevin talk about injuries. That's really not my thing. Nice try, though.
Well, I don't have him today, so.
Oh, well,
so we just don't know.
Okay, well, you'll get it tomorrow then. It was an injury report will be out. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. We'll have I don't jinx myself. Hopefully, we'll have 11 on the field at all times. So.
And just from Miles' standpoint, obviously you guys were held without a sack, but you got good pressure and everything that last game. But just how important, obviously, is it to have Miles out there doing his thing, and how does that trickle down to everybody else on that line?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously makes everybody better. It makes our coverage better. All those different things. There was a time, I can't remember what point of the game it was. Maybe we were down 17 in the fourth quarter, and Miles was rushing, and I was just, in my mind, I saw him reach sack strip and pick it up and score, and all of a sudden, it's just like the week before. It's a 10-point game, and here we go. And he was literally inches away from that play. And again, he's still played good against the run. He was playing banged up a little bit in that game, but still able to be productive. But to get those sacks, to get those lost yardage plays, and then also the high percentage of turnovers when you're hitting the quarterback, like the interception that Denzel had, was a direct result of what the guys did up front. Shelby cracked a stunt up front. Quarterback had a guy in his face. He had to elevate the ball high. Denzel did a really good job in the coverage we did overlapping, and we were rewarded with a turnover. So it all really goes down to pass rush, and even if you're not sacking the quarterback, if you're affecting the quarterback, making him throw before he wants to, or make him make errant throws, then it's it's part of it. Part of it goes. Wentz has fumbled a lot in his career, and we got to be aggressive at the ball when we're in the pocket there, because there's going to be opportunities there.
The final score was what it was, but how did you grade out the run defense against that Detroit Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, we gave up 100 yards. I mean, hard to be happy about that. If you really sort of fine tune it, half of the running game came on 2 plays, but it all still counts. I mean, that's sort of the flip side of what I always say. Like, you get a tackle for a loss for -5, and you get a sack for -5. It's the same thing. Well, you give up a 23-yard run or 23-yard pass, it's still the same thing. So we weren't happy with that. We didn't do a good enough job protecting our edges on Gibbs. I thought we did a good job against Montgomery, but didn't do a good. And we were ready for the trick play. They tried to reverse, and we were able to get that, but gave Gibbs too many opportunities, and he's a tough guy to handle in the open field. And he's a little bit like a knockout boxer. You can be holding him off, and all of a sudden, he hits you with one, and it's a knockout, and that's the way that game sort of went. We were holding him, and then all of a sudden, he's hitting us with a couple haymakers, and I thought that really flipped it. So certainly not happy with that. We got to get back to that. Good challenge this week. I'm seeing a lot of wide zone from Minnesota, so hopefully we can correct some of that stuff from last week and put a better performance out this week.
Having 2 back-to-back games, how beneficial has it been for momentum for the defense, and knowing, like you said, how Wentz plays and he's fumbled and threw 2 interceptions last week?
So important for our offense with momentum, or
no, for defense for you guys, just
yeah. I mean, that certainly can feed. I mean, turnovers certainly give you energy. We obviously made the 1 interception. I consider a 4th down stop a turnover also. I mean, it's in the definition of turnover on downs. that was a big spot at that point of the game to keep it there. But yeah, there's nothing that really gets your energy going, your momentum going than lost yardage plays, turnovers, big third down stops, big hits. All those things are contagious and have some good carryover for us.
What does Addison bring? One more. What does Addison bring to their pass? I apologize if you guys answer this already. What does Addison bring to that pass game for them?
Yeah, he's got a lot of speed, and he's a guy that can win one-on-one. He did last week on a couple plays. I mean, he went right in and 114. I want to say 100. You guys always got to fact check me. I think it was 114 yards. So right away was productive. Young player, but he's got a lot of experience now over the last few years, and definitely brings a speed element to him.
Playing off of Jefferson. I mean, how does they sort of play them off?
Yeah, I mean, and Hawkinson has something to do with that inside. He's a good tight end, but obviously, you put too much attention on Jefferson, then Addison's a guy that can hit a home run. If you put too much on him, then Jefferson's there. So having two guys, obviously, to be able to play off each other and try to command the coverage, that goes a long way. Fortunately, we got two good corners, too. So.
I thought we were going to go outside. I figured it was just,
The offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees.
Sorry, where's that is. All right, guys, good seeing everybody here. Fire away.
So can you address the quarterback change, and how do you believe that this will give you guys a lift and a boost?
Yeah, no, excited about the opportunity for Dylan, and obviously talking with Kevin and throughout the week on it. Felt like it was the right time for it. He's put in a lot of work to put himself ready to play. So guys have rallied around him. We got to all do our part to make sure that we can elevate the play of the quarterback and get the quarterback playing well. So, I know Dylan's chomping at the bit, and Joe's been there every step of the way to help support him through this process and, get him ready on this week here in London and getting ready to play Minnesota.
Tommy, are there other pages of the playbook that will allow me to dust it off with a different sort of skill set?
Yeah, you want to build what you do around a certain guy's skill set, make them feel comfortable, put them in, positions that, gives them a certain level of confidence in what they're operating. But look, we have enough in our offense that we feel like can tailor to both guys. So there's certainly some things that Dylan does that are different. Certainly things that Joe does are different, and it's our job as coaches to put him in that position.
What was it? Why was it? Did you guys feel like this was the moment to make this change? Was it just the turnovers becoming too much? Was it just a combination of everything? Why now compared to a week ago, or letting Joe go again?
Yeah, look, we all got to play better at a lot of positions. This is not singular just to the quarterback position. We all got to do our part around him, coaches included. So, obviously when we spoke, Kevin and I, felt like it was an opportunity to make the change and, really looking at it as a way to spark the offense and get things going.
Was there any consideration given whatsoever to making Shador the backup, and what sort of philosophy to having Joe being the number 2 right now?
Yeah, I just feel like, Joe's going to stay the number 2 right now and, has done a lot to prepare and be ready to go, in a pinch.
Just coming over here this week, just the whole itinerary of the week, does it add any challenges to
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, look, we have a good plan in place to how we're preparing. We got a lot of work done on the front end of this trip, got some extra walkthroughs, some extra time to make sure that, we did everything we could to treat it as normal as possible. Obviously knowing it's not, but don't see any real limitations, have a good plan in place as we get here, as we were at back home. So felt like we had enough time to pour into the game plan.
Dylan said yesterday that he hopes to bring some juice, some energy to the offense. How does he do that?
Yeah, I think he just is himself. I think he's got a calmness to him, a real true confidence to his personality and his ability that I think guys have fed off of since he's been here. So it doesn't look like he needs to step far outside of who he is to do that for our guys.
What's the biggest adjustment you made this week for this matchup?
Yeah, I think just obviously with the travel and finding unique ways to get extra reps, whether it's walkthroughs or different ways to get our guys off their feet and still prepare them in the right way. But, getting here and finding more time, we got here, we got off the bus, we got moving right away. I think that puts our guys in a good, mindset coming into a long day, but we got plenty of work, which feels like they're preparing the right way.
This may seem like a weird question, but is there an advantage or benefit for Dylan making a start on sort of almost a neutral environment compared to, if it was a road environment or, even a home environment where, you get a disgruntled fan or something, whoever knows. But can it be a benefit to, starting him in kind of an environment like this?
Look, we don't evaluate that stuff as much maybe as the outside eye does. Like, we're so in tune to, all right, are we going to prepare the right way? Is our process there in the right way? Look, if you go play well, it doesn't really matter where you are. So our focus is on making sure that we put ourselves in positions to play well.
Do you feel like you guys maybe will be able to utilize more, a fair amount more of quarterback movement, maybe some RPOs? I know you're not going to give away the game plan, but do you feel like that might be something that could shake up and wake up this offense a little bit?
Yeah, we're looking at all avenues, right, to wake it up and to get the ball moving and score points. That's what we're after here. We want to play complementary. We want to score points and do our job. So certainly going to try to put Dylan in the best positions that make him feel comfortable to do that.
And the whole evaluation of Gabriel, how relevant was the 2-minute drive in the Rams game? Did that make you guys believe that we might be ready sooner than we thought?
I think you just look at it as a body of work. That was a good cap off to that preseason for him, and to go down the field in those circumstances, obviously a positive. But we really evaluated this throughout the entirety of training camp, of the offseason program, of preseason, and you're just looking for progression and looking for him to continue to improve. And certainly that was an opportunity where you saw improvement and you saw growth. So I think all of those add up to our evaluation of feeling like he's ready to go.
Tom, if you can finally get some continuity with the offensive line, how much can that help?
Yeah, I think we've talked about that, right? I mean, those guys need to see it as one, passing off games, working in combination. That's so much easier when you're working with, a similar player or somebody that you have a lot of reps built up with. So hopefully we can continue to get guys healthy and build towards that.
Tommy, looking at left-handed quarterback, Mark Brunell, to those kind of things, anything that you guys see different, whether it's spin on the ball or even how you use your tackles or your guards, having left-handed?
You're so used to right-handed guys, so you even think like, all right, we want this going right. So you have to flip your mind a little bit on certain calls and certain things, but we do train our guys to have to do a keeper left, do a keeper right? Do some things that you typically wouldn't ask a righty to do. We are going to ask him to do that, so you don't limit what the playbook entails. So for Dylan, he's done all these things. Are there certain things here and there that you got to maybe think about? Sure, but it really doesn't change a lot in what you're doing.
Brian Flores is already a very challenging and difficult coordinator to go up against, but when he's facing a rookie, what kinds of things do you guys have to really watch out for with Dylan against that kind of aggressive team?
Yeah, Flo does a great job, as everybody knows. Presents a lot of challenges, is very diverse in his scheme. Likes to pressure, likes to create havoc, likes to turn the ball over. That's kind of how he's made his hay here. But that he does that versus everyone, right? And so, we just got to, focus on our game plan, focus on the tools that we're giving the quarterback to handle some of those things, and allow him to go out there and play fast. We don't want to slow him down by trying to analyze everything. We want him to go out there and be able to play fast and play confident.
With Tillman obviously out, do you see Njoku, Fannin spending more time kind of without another big receiver out there?
Yeah, I think a lot of guys, are going to be asked to step up in a lot of different roles. Sed plays a lot of roles for us, wears a lot of hats, run and pass. So, challenge the group to step up in his absence, and I think we have guys ready to do that.
Very good.
Cool. Thanks.
Interesting environment.
We have the water plants before.
We'll get Carson out here.
It's just really tight.
Excited, for our whole team, just with our game plan, how we prepared so far this week, how everybody's focused and determined to do their job. So I'm excited for us to go out there as a team and try to get a win.
You've been practicing, obviously, behind the scenes stuff that we cannot see Dylan do over the last, 3 weeks or so.
Yes, ma'am.
So, or a month, whatever. So can you just kind of tell us, how he's looked, how is he coming along, and what does the offense how does it operate with him under center?
I think, each and every one of our quarterbacks in our room, they all have great skill sets, but they're different in their own way. Dylan is a guy who's super mobile. He's very smart, obviously talented. And, I'm just excited to see how well he goes out there and he plays. We had some type of rivalry in college. I seen him play twice when he was at Oregon. So I know his style of play. He's a very fierce competitor. So I'm excited to see him go out there and tear it up.
Quinshon, you've had good numbers the last few weeks. How do you think you played coming into this, no practice and ready to raise the feet?
For myself, ultimately, my mindset is to get a win. And, for the past weeks, we haven't done that. So I just got to go back to, like I said, the drawing board and try to be, a better all around the board. I feel like you can always be better as a competitor and improve your game. So just to go out there and help my team win at the end of the day is my main focus.
What did you see from Dylan in that Rose Bowl game, in that playoff game?
So from the first game when we played them, obviously they won. You see how he's just very even kill, I would say. So the whole game, as I seen him play. Then we played him at the Rose Bowl his second time. I would say you more so see the same thing from him. Just an even kill guy who's super competitive, took his team down the field and tried to help him get touchdowns.
Do you guys feel that there will be opportunities for, with Dylan, as you mentioned, being so much more mobile, will there be opportunities for you guys, for him to just quickly get the ball into the hands of playmakers and the shorter passing game a little bit, and you guys kind of do your thing after the catch?
Yeah, I think that's what all our quarterbacks do. They do a great job at, getting us the ball, all the playmakers around the field, so we can go out there and just showcase our skill set, and also our coaches as well on just putting us in the best positions and, go out there and showcase what we can do and put our best foot forward.
And I've seen things written about his leadership skills and different things that he does to get his team fired up and motivated and bring everybody together.
Right.
Yesterday he said he wants to bring the energy and bring the juice. Do you see that? Can you feel that he's going to do that?
Yes, ma'am. I feel so. Just because I've known him since, I would say, my freshman year of college. I've known who he is as a competitor. I've seen him throughout his college career as he's seen mine as well. So for us to finally, be able to play together, it's a very fun and exciting time, I think, for both of us. And I would say, him as a competitor and that energy that he brings, he's like that all the time since the first day we stepped into minicamp when we first both got drafted here. So, like I said, I'm just excited to see him go out there and do his thing.
And do you feel like you guys, as an offense, knowing that you have a rookie quarterback out there, and like Jim Schwartz just said, defensively they have to do whatever they can do to set him up right and make things good for Dylan? Do you guys feel similar that everybody's got to be like really locked in, really on point, catching everything and doing everything possible for Dylan?
I think that's what you have to do regardless, and that's what it takes to win football games and be a super, high-level, high-efficient team. It's everybody to do their job, hold each other accountable, and, play fast, play hard. It don't matter if it's Dylan, it's me, or any O-lineman or any receiver we have on our team. We believe in each and every one of our guys, and we know they'll do their job. So we just all, like I said, put our best foot forward and go out there and play fast and play hard.
And what can you say about Brian Flores' defense? What is he showing? What do those guys bring to the table on Sunday?
I would say, definitely with their front, different styles and different techniques of play. Sometimes they play aggressive, sometimes they play a little bit more in zone or different things that they do. I would say more to speak, but they're very physical. They play well. Got a lot of key players on their defense, so we're going to go and have to prepare this week and continue to do a good job at it. Cool. Thank you.
how does that affect you and impact you guys over there on defense?
Yeah, I mean, we got full confidence in Dylan. I think he's done a good job of staying ready, staying prepared. It's a good opportunity for him to really show, his craft and really prove people wrong, prove people right that supported him, prove himself right. He might not have the height, he might not have he's a lefty, it's different. So, going out there first game international, man, it's not a better way you could do it.
What have you seen just watching, in practice, beside the scenes out of Dylan that tells you that, like you say, he is ready, that he has been preparing for this moment? Yeah, I mean,
I think it's just the poise of the rookie class. Out of all our rookies right now, it's a high standard in that rookie class, man. From Harold to Q Judd to D Samp, Carson, general to defense right now. Those guys have been rolling. So hopefully Dylan goes in there and takes the head of the rookie class and really leads those guys.
A lot of new fans will see you this weekend play. Some have never seen American football, and maybe some of them haven't picked a real football team they want to support. Why did you choose the
Cleveland Browns? I think we're a fun team to follow. I'll say that. Hopefully we make some friends. I know you guys don't know much about Cleveland Browns, man. We're gonna do what we can do. Cleveland's a great place. It's a lot like Miami. If you ever heard of Miami, it's like Miami. So if y'all come visit, hey, we'll welcome y'all with open arms.
Great.
When you look at what Carson Wentz has done these first two games, but also his career, he's thrown a couple interceptions these first two games. Takeaways that you guys have talked about wanting to get. How can you guys capitalize off of those moments and building off of what you guys have done in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, man, really just attacking, muddying up for him. Just making it hard on him. We love making it hard on quarterbacks. He is new over there too, so he's got a couple games under his belt, but really just playing how we play and not diverting much from that.
You talked about Carson being the general of the defense. You have a rookie at quarterback. How difficult is it for a rookie to come in and sort of take command of a room like that? Because there's a lot of older guys in that room. I mean, a lot of established guys. What goes into them kind of taking, being able to earn the trust that? Well, I mean, the big thing is just him knowing that he don't have to be that captain, the general. Like, we got a lot of guys that's with you. You're not in this by yourself. Just being on point, being on cue, and knowing that we got his back, really, he's been playing great, amazing. So he just need to keep doing whatever he's doing.
You have a great view of the defensive line from where you're at. What have you seen different in that front four that is just the top of the league so far this year?
I mean, we all know what the outside of our D-line is, but the interior, they're causing havoc this year. That 1-2 punch from the rookie and the vet on the inside is pretty much unstoppable right now. So those guys are doing their thing, doing what we need to do. We just got to hold up in the back end, and it's going to work out.
You mentioned after the game that it was difficult to not get frustrated by the fact that the offense was unable to generate any points and continuously turning the ball over and whatnot. So how do you think that you guys have handled that, and how do you think, do you feel like this quarterback change could possibly give a lift to the defense?
Yeah, I mean, just knowing in that moment, it's frustrating in the moment because everybody wants to win, especially on defense. You can't control anything on offense, but you got to tell yourself that again, like, you can't control anything that they're doing. All you can control is getting them back the ball. So, like I said, man, winners don't last forever. The sun's going to come back, and with this change at quarterback, we got a good thing to rally behind, and really just keep doing what we've been doing on defense and helping the young rook out.
Would getting the best of this Justin Jefferson guy be a little bit personal to you?
Personal? No, it's never that. It's never that. It's never personal, but it's always friendly competition. I'm going to talk my stuff as we know, and he going to do the same. So, we from around the same area.
How unique is he?
I mean, I think just we all know his catch radius is crazy. I think that any ball in the facilities, he has a good chance to come down with it. Great hands, soft. You see the one hand catches. he got a unique way in running. It's like, it's real. I can't even explain it, but it's different than Jamar. But him and Jamar, I think, they top 2 in the league.
How's your gritty?
How's what? My gritty? Yeah, I mean, it's fire. It's elite. It's elite for real. So I might do it to make him mad. I don't know. He ain't say nothing, so.
Do you guys see, with Carson Wentz, do you see some opportunities there? We saw how the Pittsburgh game ended, but do you see some opportunities to maybe strip the ball out of there a little bit and also get some interceptions perhaps? Yeah,
I see those kind of opportunities every week, especially with a non-starter that's just becoming a starter on a new team and stuff. And, he actually has a history of turning the ball over a lot, so that's something that we got to exploit, make him uncomfortable and go get that thing.
Is there anything on film? T.J. Hawkinson's a very good tight end. Anything on film that stands out to you that you feel like is a unique challenge for you this week?
Yeah, I mean, he runs pretty much the whole route tree. I think that he's a very good weapon for them. He's at least kind of like a wild runner type of guy. He got some wiggle to him. So, it's no secret that we play man to man, so we're gonna be matched up a lot.
How about the special teams situation? What do you think that you guys can do on special teams to be a real asset to this team beginning this week?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to get behind our coach, man. Bubba's doing. He's a great coach, and he's doing what he needs to do to put us in the positions, man. As players, we just can't take those plays off. We got to realize that those are game-changing plays that we're leaving on the table. So we're going to get it fixed. Good. Thank y'all. Enjoy London.
Yeah. Did you just see anything?
Not yet. Well, take me a nap right now. I don't know what glasses in my eyes. All right. All right, y'all.
One more, sorry guys.
Joel Grant said Cleveland's a lot like Miami. You buy that?
Cleveland's a lot like Miami? I haven't spent that much time in Miami, so I can't give a fair answer for that. But if I asked David, I think he would say no.
Joel, does each new left tackle have to wear a name tag?
No, I got them down. I got the names down, No, it's good. You hear about guys, you meet guys throughout the league, and get a chance to play with a bunch of them.
Can you talk about the quarterback change and what do you think that this can do for you guys and what you guys have to do to help this rookie out on Sunday?
Yeah, first off, a ton of respect for Joe and what he did, and I still feel like our offense as a whole did, do enough for Joe. And so we want to be better for Dylan. But since day one, in OTAs and off-season workouts, I think Dylan's been preparing for this moment. He takes notes. He handles his business. You see him on Fridays and Saturdays after our practice, like he's always doing that extra, walking through the script, walking through the plays. And so I think he has a handle on what we want to do and what we want to accomplish. And hopefully he can, use his mobility and stuff to open up the offense a little bit for us.
How difficult is it for a rookie, though, to kind of go to the head of the room, be that guy and kind of earn the respect of the veteran?
Yeah, I think our offense allows him to do that, but he's played so much football. Like he's in, 6-year college, like most starts or something in FBS history, played in a lot of big games. And I think his confidence and his, the way he carries himself just gives him that ability to step to the front of the room and the work he's put in. If he hadn't put in the work, then there's like, oh, come on, like what are we doing here? But he's put in the work and he's been focused and he's kind of been ready for this moment.
Does it seem like his height has not been a factor, just from what you've been able to see since the time that he's been here?
Yeah, I haven't noticed anything about his height, I know it's been a big talking point, but from what I've seen in practice and in games, it hasn't really affected him yet.
Because, we talk about a lot, but the continuity of you wide and Ethan in the middle, because down both sides, both tackles, you're sort of waiting to see how that plays out. How important is that, especially as you're getting new guys adjusted to those rules and to build that continuity as an offensive line?
Yeah, we want to try and stay stable in the middle, especially for Dylan, so he can step up and make those plays. But yeah, it's good. Poe kind of runs the ship, and me and Wyatt try and help what we can. But it's a good group in the middle, and we're just trying to be the best we can, so everybody else around us can be successful.
What I was saying on Monday, duo's duo. The plays aren't that much different. So when a guy like Cam comes in, who's been around,
yeah,
how difficult is that adjustment really? And what really goes into kind of that adjustment?
Yeah, there's an adjustment just in like the way he kind of does technique and stuff like that. Like you said, most of the plays are similar across the league. Maybe a little bit different terminology or a different code word for things. But Cam's been in a lot of offenses and he has a lot of experience. So I think him coming in and having me and Wyatt there to be able to communicate, even if he doesn't quite understand, the terminology, we can be like, hey, we're doing this, and he can kind of get a feel for it.
Tommy talked about flipping some plays with a left-handed quarterback. What kind of challenge does that have for you guys on the offensive line?
We don't feel it as much because most of our plays have a two-way go. Dan can do the math for me here, but I think this is my 21st starting quarterback that I've played with. I don't think I've played with a left-hand quarterback though in my career or college or high school. So it's a new thing for all of us. But no, I think for play-wise, like we kind of have most of the things in both ways and things of that nature. So I've it's not a huge deal for us, but it'll be interesting to see.
How did you prepare mentally for this game, like as a team?
Yeah, I think we've really just focused on, like, our singular goal is trying to win a game this week. So there is distractions of traveling to London. We flew overnight, being in a new place, being in a hotel for a few more days. But the goal is to try and find a way to win, and that's what we've been focused on. So we had a good day of, walk through practice, little get the body moving, and I think tomorrow we can move into like our normal Friday. But really, just our focus has been on Minnesota and find a way to win the game.
Joel, speaking of firsts, have you ever seen an interview conducted with no words coming out of a player's mouth?
No, I scrolled past that and I didn't actually watch it yet, but I have not seen that before.
And just if you haven't seen it, maybe you can't comment on this, but I was just wondering, could that just be a young guy expressing from some frustration over getting criticized and different things like that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what even got asked. So I'm not sure how he does it, or why he did it. But it's probably a question for him to answer, and it's hard for me to speculate on exactly what was kind of going on in his mind.
You're back. How does a cross Atlantic flight? What does that do to the back?
I slept a little bit on the plane. We had the, lay flats. I don't want to, we were in first class in the lay flat, but I don't quite fit in those very well. So I was pretty much just like in a recliner most of the time. But I woke up and I was pretty good. I did some mobility. I did some stretching. I moved around, and so far so good.
When you look at this defense, specifically the defensive line, kind of what challenges does it present for you guys because of just the fluidity of the offensive line right now?
Yeah, you look at a Flores defense, and they're known for blitzing and exotic looks and different things. But I think this year they've even taken we'll see what they do to us. It's kind of a game plan thing. But they have Jonathan Allen and Hargrave now, and some good edge rushers. So I think they've upgraded some of their players on the inside, and so they don't have to quite blitz as much. So you've seen some more 4-down rushes and let those guys work a little bit. But it's a challenge. They have great players. They seem to find your weakness and blitz that way and stuff. So it'll be a good challenge for us. Sweet. Thanks, guys.
That we get for today.
Playing for 7. You ever thought, can I just get one of those trailers?
I'll stand in the back.